Welcome to another episode of G-Money Outdoors, and today I'll be talking to you guys about in-depth spinnerbaits. So I'll teach you how to tips, tricks, how to modify your spinnerbaits, and just how to throw them more and where I like to throw them, where I catch the most fish, and what colors to use in certain situations. So I'm going to start out with colors. When it's a dead calm day, not a cloud in the sky, bright sun, it's not a perfect spinnerbait day and the fish may not be biting, but still, if the fish aren't biting, turn on a spinnerbait. Even though it might not have a lot of, if there is a chop, throw the spinnerbait, but throw a white spinnerbait with dual willow blades, like this one here. You could throw a sexy shad too, this color, but I think I catch them more on the white, and that's the main reason. This white, sorry, this spinnerbait just hooked up. The white here, it just imitates a shad and it doesn't set off much reflection, but it sets off more silhouetting this spinnerbait. And there might be some reflections coming off the metal, just don't worry about that, just keep it close to the surface. Because the bass, if they're hungry, they're going to come up and strike this with hardly any hesitation. So that's when I throw this one. If it's one of those middle days where there's some clouds in the sky, but not like dark, rainy weather coming in, throw your reds, your craw colors, your chartreuses in whites, your sexy shads. Those are when all those are really good. But when it's the rain coming in, dark clouds, you want to throw the black, because I believe the black sets off, it looks like what the fish will be moving in that certain time, because it will just not silhouette this, but the fish will still be able to see it, and it just has the product color which you would want on those cloudy days. I have no clue why the fish like this. Looks like a leech, I believe, because not a lot of shad look like this. So, but they also come in the blacks and reds, which I like to use too. And this is a chatterbait, but this is the only one I can have to show you guys the black and blue, which is an important color. I throw that a lot with my chatterbaits, black and blue. Chatterbaits and spinnerbaits work hand in hand. It just depends on your personal preference. I prefer spinnerbaits, but I know Andrew Flair from Andrew Flair Outdoors, he loves chatterbaits, and both of them catch big fish. So these just put off a little bit more vibrations, where spinnerbaits put off more flash. So that's how I like to do it. And next, tips and tricks to modify your spinnerbaits to help them catch more fish. And all you're gonna need to trim the skirts on these is a pair of scissors and a garbage can. And this is actually one of the Northwoods ones where I will trim the skirt, because this one, it's kind of a cheaper skirt on this one, but it folds down and it sticks down. So all you have to do to these is you cut them at different lengths. So you might cut one middle, top, and bottom. But on some of them, like this one that has this inner layer here that covers these hooks, this inner layer, do not trim the inner layer, only the outer layer. With this one, only trim the one that has the colors on it. Most of them don't have inner layers, but like Strike King has inner layers because all theirs come with treble hooks, but their inner layers are just one color. Only trim the multiple colors. That's my tip and trick, because if you trim this, it's going to not protect the hook, and these hooks will be wide open, and that could be bad. But the white one here has no inner layer. This skirt covers it, but it's a longer skirt, so you still trim it. This one, you just want to trim. This one comes with these long ones that cover up the hook. Do not trim these long ones. Only trim the thinner skirts. So I'm just going to trim this one up quick. Okay, so now I have this one. Oh, one sec, I missed a spot. Okay, I have this one all trimmed up. And so when on a pressured lake, most people don't trim their spinnerbaits, so this will look different from an actual lure that the fish know of. So you'll get the strikes and these that the other anglers won't. And you'll get a couple more a day. But when you pop this and jerk it through the water, like I said in this basics video, and let it sink, this trim skirt puts off so much more flare to this, and it will attract the fish into a reaction bite. If you guys don't believe so, check out Lunkers TV's spinnerbait modification video. He has a great underwater video of him trimming his skirts and how much difference that makes with the bite, and you'll catch more fish. And in ponds, you only want to throw white, this color, because that's just what I find works best in ponds. You'll catch them on some other ones, but white is hands down the best color in ponds. So throw white. Most of the time I'm stuck throwing in my water sexy shads, these craws, because we have a lot of craws dads up here, this craw color, or the black and reds, red, black. And those are the main ones I use. Whites I use sometimes on the dead calm day, so we don't usually have a lot of those. And when I pond fish, white's the only one I use. So that's how I trim my skirts. But now I'm going to teach you guys where to throw these and when. So when I like to throw these is along logs, trees that are falling in the water, logs in the water. You want to throw these, you just want to throw them right up next to it, because those fish will be hiding under the logs, and when they see that go by, they think it's just a bait fish swimming by, and it's an easy meal. They come out, eat it, come back in. But what the fish next to docks, they'll be hiding under those docks for shades, along weed lines, just stuff like that, along lily pad lines, just throw it along those lines, tall grasses. Throw those in those places where, along the edge where the bass will be hiding in the weeds, so when they see it, they'll come out and grab the bait. And how to get accuracy and distance, I throw it on a 6:4 gear ratio, which I have on my Abu Garcia, in a 6'10" length, and I throw it on 15-pound to 17-pound test. Some people, I know Kevin Van Dam likes to throw it on monofilament. Some people like to throw it on braid. I think test is just fine, and in clear water it just represents a bait fish more, because this test is clear and the fish can't see it. But braid, they can't really see either. Some people believe it, but I don't believe they can see it. I just like throwing it on test. It just works better, I find. So 6'4", 6:4 gear ratio, 6'10" rod. And remember the colors to use in these situations, and blade types, dual willows, the medium, the Colorado. This is the medium. My best luck I had this year throwing on my annual up north fishing trip is I had to say at least 10 bass from 15 to 16.5 inches on this color. This is the color that I threw all the time. And I had a white Strike King painted blade, the red-eyed painted blade one. But a northern came right next to the boat as I was getting out of the water, and he just hit the line and it snapped, so I lost that spinnerbait. It was kind of disappointing, but then I just went to the store where I got these 3 Northwood ones, and I just picked up a white one, and it worked just the same. The other one just put it off a little bit more flash like the painted blades do. And that's really all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching.